What up, YouTube Live? How's it going? This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. I'm about to leave to Los Angeles in a few minutes from now to uh, to attend the screening of Ugly Dolls. You know that new animated movie, Ugly Dolls. The premiere was this past Saturday. I couldn't make it, so I'm attending the screening this evening. But before I go, I want to make sure I get this video up first. I'm gonna do it. I want to do it live review, not live review. I'm sorry, live news and commentary. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait all the way till Sunday's weekly show, Rocking It with Rama Screen Live, to discuss John Singleton. I want to do it right now before I leave. So, as you may have heard, one of the most influential and impactful filmmakers in this industry and of our time, John Singleton, sadly passed away today at the age of 51. What is interesting is that earlier this morning, there were reports that he had died, but apparently those were inaccurate. And there, afterwards, or immediately after, there were some conflicting reports. You know, other journalists say, "Hey, no, I got word from Singleton's family reps that he actually was just on life support, not dead yet. So he was still alive, but on life support." And TMZ corroborated that. TMZ confirmed that. And say what you want about TMZ, but TMZ is, for most of the time, is a reliable source. Unlike the outlet that spewed John Singleton dead around like 6 a.m. or so. Um, so that caused confusion, and so it was made clear that John Singleton was indeed alive still, but he was on life support. And then a few hours later, I think around noon or maybe slightly after noon, and then word hit the web that the family of Singleton, the Singleton family, decided ultimately that they were planning, or they wanted to pull John's life support. And it was a tough decision on their part. That's not something that's taken lightly. And I read reports that it took them days to ponder and like to really really think about that decision. It's a heavy one. So I feel for them. My prayers and my heart, my thoughts go out to the Singleton's family, especially that they had to make that decision to take him off of his life support. It must have been very, very difficult to do. Um, in 1991, I was around what? I want to say I was around 9 years old, or so. Anyway, John Singleton made one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion, and that is Boys and the Hood. Um, it really captures. I saw it for the first time when I was in late bloom in high school. And then I rewatched it again when they had Boys and the Hood 20th anniversary celebration at Los Angeles Film Festival. I believe that was the year 2011, yeah, or 2012. They may have been. So they were coming up with this Blu-ray too, Boys in the Hood special edition 20th anniversary Blu-ray. And right after the screening, I remember there was a Q&A with John Singleton and Cuba Gooding Jr. And John Singleton, at one point, he praised Cuba Gooding Jr. because a few years after Boys and the Hood, Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar for Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. But immediately after John Singleton praised Cuba returned the praise back to John. It's like, dude, because he's trying to be like, be modest and whatnot. It's like, hey, that's fine and all, but when this brother, because Cuba referring to John Singleton, is like, hey, when this brother got nominated, we were all so proud of him. And it's true, because not only the accomplishment of getting nomination, but Singleton made history with that nomination. He remains the youngest ever to have been Oscar nominated for Best Directing category, and he was 24 when he got that nomination. And He also made other another history. He remains the first ever, of course, the first ever African American in cinema history ever to be nominated for Academy Award for Best Director. The first one. Um, of course, years later, Steve McQueen won for 12 Years a Slave, and but John Singleton was the trailblazer. He was the one that kind of knocked down that wall and opened up the road for other black filmmakers to be um, as successful as he was. And his follow-up movies, Poetic Justice and Higher Learning, also tackled similar themes in the struggles of the urban black community. I personally am a big fan of his movie Four Brothers. Remember Four Brothers with Andre Benjamin, Mark Wahlberg, Garrett Hedlund, and Tyrese Gibson. I love that movie. I remember watching it like multiple times in the theaters and on Blu-ray. That's because it was just so badass. So awesome movie. Um, and then he also made Baby Boy, of course, and Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson. Uh, John Singleton's final or last movie was 2011's Abduction. That was the action thriller starring Taylor Lautner. Remember Taylor Lautner, who played Jacob from the Twilight movies? That was the time right after the success of Twilight. They were trying to Hollywood was trying to make Taylor the next action star. They were trying to push it. I kid you not. And that was one of the movies, Abduction. Unfortunately, of course, as you know, nobody bit that bait. Nobody bites. So Taylor Lautner did not end up being the next Tom Cruise. And Abduction, unfortunately, did not fare well with critics and fans alike, at least to my recollection. And I personally, for one, did not enjoy that movie. And ever since that, Singleton had kept himself busy producing other people's projects or directing various TV shows. So you may have seen some of the episodes he's directed. I think he directed the show Empire as well. I'm not too 100% sure about that, but he's done a lot of various TV shows and directed many of the episodes. So yeah, to conclude, before I leave back to LA to watch this Ugly Doll screening, man, it was tough today. Very sad day today for us cinephiles and movie fans everywhere, because John Singleton's films had a big and still do have a big impact on us, the fans. His legacy lives on to positively influence countless aspiring filmmakers everywhere. When you see folks like Jordan Peele or Steve McQueen or others like them, don't forget the trailblazers like John Singleton and Spike Lee, the ones that actually were there beforehand. So Singleton is among those folks, or was among those folks. So thank you for your contributions to the world of cinema, Mr. Singleton. We will miss you. Thank you for your films. Rest in peace.